Here's The Last of Us Part 2 running on PS5 Pro. It has huge amounts of detail and targets a super smooth 60 frames per second. Let's compare this to the fidelity mode on PS5, which is only running at 30 frames per second. Including Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. We can see that PS5 Pro is close to doubling the power of PlayStation 5. What we see here is a difference in detail. PS5 Pro is much sharper and crisper than PS5.
Welcome to the Den, and I am here as always to speak of this week's gaming news. First up, the PS5 Pro has been announced. Yes, that is right, the PS5 Pro in the middle of the generation for no absolute reason. And let's speak on the upgrades. They have an upgraded GPU. The PS5 Pro, we are upgrading to a GPU that has 67% more compute units than the current PS5 console and 28% faster memory. Overall, this enables up to 45% faster rendering for gameplay, making the experience much smoother, as well as advanced ray tracing and AI-driven upscaling. And you know, these are all some weird things. You know, it's got a 2 terabyte SSD and all that bull crap. Let's talk about the enhanced titles. The PS5 Pro already has enhanced games labeled here, which include Alan Wake 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Demon Souls, Dragon Dogma 2, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Gran Turismo 7, Hogwarts Legacy, Horizon Forbidden West, Spider-Man 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, The Crew Motorfest, The First Descendant, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, yada yada. These are all the titles coming enhanced for the PS5 Pro. For a measly $700, yes, you can get a mid-gen console upgrade with $700. Sold separately, of course, is the disc drive, as it is an all-digital console. And I have to say, this is quite ballsy of Sony, of PlayStation, to do this kind of mid-console generation upgrade. And we really don't need it. There's nothing really coming out that needs it. This seems like a little niche thing for people that just want a little more upgrade, but it doesn't really do much. It doesn't seem like it does much, and from all the videos showing, you could barely see the difference. I mean, just look at these examples and previews and comparisons from PS5 to PS5 Pro. There's really not that much of a difference. Oh, sharper textures and Ratchet & Clank and Last of Us 2 Remastered. Wow. Yeah, that's what we should be spending our time on. A new console instead of making games that's the quality like of Astrobot. Like, this is pretty disappointing, and we've come all this way to 2024, and I could just vividly remember the last generation of PS3 being so much greater. I mean, just remember the PS3 was $599, native backwards compatibility, a disc drive included, supported CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays, free online play, console can stand without an accessory for free, of course. You know, that's crazy. It also came with franchises we're still using today that are not as good as the old franchises of tomorrow. Like, this is where Uncharted came from, The Last of Us, God of War, and all this stuff. More so PS2, but these PS4, PS5 titles are not even that great. There's too many walking sims, there's too many photorealistic, boring CW drama, like plot lines to acting. It's very boring, and I'm kind of sick of this action-adventure, padded 40-hour game. Can we get something like Astrobot more? Can we get some more games like Jak and Daxter? Can we get more better Ratchet and Clanks to Sly Coopers? Can we get a Twisted Metal? Can we try to be more creative in this gaming industry, please? But up next seems to be Lollipop Chainsaw rePOP. Yes, the remaster of Lollipop Chainsaw is now available for $45.99. Technically 10% discount, $40 more like it. A little pricey, but it is a great game, and I want everyone to try to play this. And you know, it's funny because IGN doesn't even want to review this, it seems. They're going back to their old review, which gave the game a 5 out of 10. They won't even go out their way to review the remaster, and we don't know why. There could be some left ideology agenda driven into this by IGN, you know, shills. But yeah, this is a great game. This is a great hack and slash, and that is my favorite genre, the hack and slash action game, which is the best type of action game. So much freedom, so much quality, so much control over the gameplay. And Lollipop Chainsaw is one of those unique games that really was something of greatness in the 2000s. And you know, I expect people like Kotaku and IGN to not speak vividly of this game because they have their own little agenda they're trying to drive into everyone's beliefs. But this is a cool game. It's raunchy, it's crazy. It's what makes a game good. It's its own idea, its own identity. It has its own uniqueness to it. It doesn't bend the knee to anything. They made a game purely in mind for fans and purely in mind for them, and that's how you should do it. And on to more gaming news. A new Tony Hawk game? Well, Tony Hawk has just said something that we all have our eyes on. As Tony Hawk has stated, I wish I could tell you more, but I can tell you that I've been talking to Activision again. We're working on something. It will be something the fans will truly appreciate. And as you remember, they have made Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remastered. So maybe Tony Hawk is talking about a remake, a remaster of Thug, you know, Tony Hawk Underground 1 and 2. We would love to see it. Those are my favorite Tony Hawk games easily, along with American Wasteland, that is, with some of the best soundtracks you'll hear. And you know, of course, there's been some bad ones, like the worst one I could speak of is Proven Ground, that I remember. Really terrible push to skate button. It was a really strange game. The environment sucked. But there's been a lot of good Tony Hawk games, and I can't hold a few bad ones over the good ones. We want this remake. We want this remaster, or whatever you call it. And we love Tony Hawk Underground 1, so it would be huge if Activision and Tony Hawk are again on the same page speaking on a remake or a new game. I mean, let's face it, a new Tony Hawk game would be cool, as well as, you know, they're making a new Skate. But a new Tony Hawk game, maybe they make it free to play open world. I mean, I don't like the microtransactions, the monetization acts that follows through with it, but Tony Hawk's gameplay is truly just too fun to care about all that. Way more fun than Skate, which is more on the simulation side. While Tony Hawk, you could just do about anything crazy. You could cannonball into a rooftop, onto a cannon, and then you could heel flip over the wildest things, grind through a pool, manual hop through a pool. Like, you could do about anything in these games, onto cars and all. It is just a really fun time. But what I want from a future is Tony Hawk Underground 1, and I hope that is what is being talked about and what is being made. And on to more news. Apparently, an unconfirmed state of play is reportedly being announced on the 23rd of this month, aka September 24th. And this is a source by someone from Discord, IGN, Nuss the Wise, on a PlayStation Discord or whatever. And you know, if this is true, I hope the state of play maybe has an Infamous remastered. That would be a cool one. Infamous is one of the best PlayStation games I played. It takes the superhero genre into a darker path with choices, two choices that matter at the end. It's a pretty good game, a pretty good open world. The lightning powers are awesome, and they get even crazier with part 2, but 1's really the great one, as in the great story and overall product. But I'm hoping for that. Maybe some Metal Gear Delta, aka, you know, Metal Gear Snake Eater 3, the remake. I'm just hoping maybe a Sly Cooper, I doubt it, but maybe just some more fun games, and I think that's what the gaming industry is missing, and I hope that next State of Play really tackles that. Thank you for hearing me out, listening to my opinions. Like and subscribe if you want, and as always, get out.